Hello everyone, welcome back. Zargot here. Hope everyone's having a happy holiday, or if you're seeing this video later, hope you had a happy holiday. So tonight we're just doing a pack one pick one video. I've got a pack of Ixalan here. Essentially what we're going to do is we're going to pop open the pack, lay the card contents out, take a look at them and sort of review the pack and just discuss what we would pick if this was our first pack in a draft. So let's go ahead and get this going here. Okay, so we have Mark of the Vampire, Frenzied Raptor, Slash of Talons, Queen's Agent, Ravenous Daggertooth, Shaper Apprentice, Colossal Dreadmaw, we have a Demolish, Skymarch Bloodletter, first uncommon is a Siren Storm Tamer, then we've got a Raider's Wake, Raptor Hatchling, Rootbound Crag, and looks like we got a foil rare here, an Entrancing Melody. Okay, so let's just spread these out a little bit more. There we go. Hope everybody can see everything now. Okay, so let's take a look here. So we got two rares, so that makes the pack a little bit more interesting. So let's see here. Rootbound Crag, in a draft, usually not a card that I take first. Maybe if this was back in the the days of fetch lands or shock lands, I would snag that just because it's worth a few bucks. But Rootbound Crag as it stands, and Ixalan's only worth a couple dollars, and it's not exactly a very strong pick for the first pick. Entrancing Melody, I do actually like this card, although it's not as strong as it seems. It's a permanent creature steal effect. Let's get these out of the glare here a little bit. It is an effect that'll let you just permanently take your opponent's creature, and once you have control of it, they can't take it back. There's no way to disenchant this card. The issue is that it's 2 blue and X. So typically, this card is not super strong on the curve because turn 5 you're going to be taking their 3-drop or their 2-drop, or I guess in a really bad situation, maybe their 1-drop. But the card, really, you need to be able to sink 5 mana into it, 4 or 5 mana into it before it becomes valuable, or else you're just getting a very low drop creature. And then if that's the case, I would, instead of spending 5 mana to take their 2-drop or their 3-drop, instead of spending 5 mana to take their 3-drop or 4 mana to take their 2-drop, I would rather just have a strong 2 or 3-drop in my deck. Just my opinion, but for me, I've played this card a few times, and typically when I draw it, it's just not as good as I would think. Raptor Hatchling, not a terrible card. This card for me seems more of a splash, more of a later pickup card in a Dino deck, because really 2 for a 1/1 with the enrage mechanic is decent, but not so overpowered that I would want to take it first. Raider's Wake is an interesting card. I've played around with it a little bit. I've seen other people play around with it. It's very situational. A lot of the times when you finally run this card out, your opponent's hand is already emptied, and the card is a do-nothing card, so you have a 4-cost spell that just really didn't do very much. Siren Storm Tamer, I actually do like this card. This has been sort of a pain for me in a few drafts that I've done, just because the ability to counter a spell that targets a creature is very relevant, and the fact that it's a 1/1 flyer for 1 that doesn't have to tap to use the ability, this guy, if you drop him turn 1, you're going to get in for a couple points of damage, and then he just can kind of sit back and be this nagging pest that just won't allow you to remove any of your opponent's creatures, because for 1 blue mana they can take that spell away from you. So the uncommons and the rares. For the commons, cards I'm interested in, I really like Skymarch Bloodletter. 2/2 for 3, that's pretty common in just about all sets that come out, pretty standard, but the 1-point life drain is pretty relevant, and the fact that it's a vampire is also very relevant. Black-white vampires is very strong in Ixalan. I really like that. Other cards worth interest, Demolish, not really anything. Colossal Dreadmaw, if you need a big guy, this is a big guy. He's not bad, but this is more of a pick 7, 8, 9. Once you've established you're in green, maybe if you have a little bit of ramp. Shaper Apprentice I do like. It's 2 for a 2/1, which is okay. If just for a 2-drop, that's fine. But if you're running Merfolk, a 2/1 flyer for 2 is fantastic. Then we get the Daggertooth, which is a fine dino. If you're playing dinos, you're going to want 1 or 2 of these in your deck. Queen's Agent, I don't particularly like this card very much, just because it is 6 for a 3/3 and draw a land, or 6 for a 4/4 with lifelink. For for me, it's just a little slow. It is a vampire, so that maybe adds a small amount more value to it. But for this card, I'm not a huge fan of it. You know, I will play one of them in my vampire decks. You know, if I want something that's a little more top of the curve and I don't have stronger 2 or 3 drops or 4 drops that are worth playing. Slash your Talons I do like. You know, it's a fine removal spell. If you're playing white, this is a card that you probably want to have one of. Maybe an extra one on the sideboard if your opponent's ultra aggressive. Frenzy Raptor, again, this is a fine card whether you're in dinos or not. Just because it is 3 for 4/2, so it's a very aggressive card. And it's okay defensively as well. And the Mark of Vampire, this card is great if your opponent's not running a lot of removal. This allows you to just go absolutely crazy, especially if you're playing, you know, Skymarch Bloodletter on turn 3, and then if your opponent has no removal and you throw a Mark of the Vampire on it, that's a game that can get way out of control, and your opponent just really can't recover from that. So that's kind of all the picks in here. The cards that for me would be of the most interest is, you know, I don't hate Entrancing Melody, but I'm not a huge fan of it. So the cards that I like the most, I like the Storm Tamer, I like the Bloodletter, I do like the Shaper Apprentice, and possibly the Raptor Hatchling, if this was my first pack. But for me, let's see here. I think that if I was to open this pack in a casual drafting event, this is a tough one because it's not a particularly strong pack, to be quite honest, because we could take the Hatchling and speculate on whether they're going to be dinos or just use it as a okay 2-drop. We could take the Storm Tamer or the Bloodletter, again, just speculating on whether we're going to be blue or black. Here, I think I like more taking... I think I probably would take the Bloodletter here. I think this is the card I would take. I really like vampires in the set, and I feel like if you're going to be vampires, you got to pick up these early drops, the Bloodletters, the Bishop Soldiers. You know, you really got to get those good quality cards early in the format or early in the draft, or else they're just all gone because everyone else is going to do the same thing. You know, if they see those early 2 and 3 drops, well, obviously you're going to take those, and then you're going to look for those other cards during the draft that allow you to be rewarded for picking, you know, the vampires like the Deacon and things of that nature. But for me, I think out of this pack, you know, it's not super strong. You know, Rhubarb Crag I'm not going to take. This is a card if I'm already in red-green, or if I'm playing one of the colors and then I'm splashing a green spell or splashing a red spell. This is fine, but I'm not going to take that first. Entrancing Melody, again, I don't like the card. I've played with it several times. It's very underwhelming whenever I've drawn it. And I do like vampires a lot. So for me, I would take the Skymarch Bloodletter here, and I would be completely happy with that pick. Okay, so there you guys go. You know, hope that you enjoyed watching, you know, the Pack 1 Pick 1 video. Hope everyone had a great holiday, you know, or still having a great holiday. And you know, let me know if you agree with the pick. Let me know if you would take something different out of the pack. You know, would you take the Entrancing Melody? You know, would you just take it because it's a foil rare, maybe, which is fine. You know, in a casual drafting event, you know, if you open this pack, and this isn't a strong pack, it really isn't. You know, maybe you do want a Rootpound Craig for your collection. But you know, let me know if there's anything you would take out of here. Let me know if you agree with the Skymarch Bloodletter, if you disagree with it. If you did enjoy watching the video, you know, hit the like button. Let me know you enjoyed watching it. If you want to see more content, you know, hit the subscribe button. I do try to get new videos up every single day for you. And we will see you in our next Pack 1 Pick 1 video.